Give it up right now for Heidi Butler! Give it up one more time for Deanna hosting us. Such an angel. Oh my gosh, how are we feeling today? Have we all had a good weekend? It's been a good one? Yeah, well, you're drinking on a Sunday, so. Yeah. It's been a good weekend, I take it, yeah. I've had a weird weekend. I learned a little bit of a life lesson. I'd love to share it with you guys, sort of learn from my mistake. If you'll humor me, is that okay? What I learned this weekend, take this with you on your life. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're kind of like flirt texting with a guy, do not call him sassy. Don't do it. Because your phone will autocorrect that to say daddy. Guaranteed. And you're going to be stuck pretending you have a fetish you don't understand. So, not a great way to start a relationship, I'd say. Oh my gosh. It's been weird. I live actually really close. I live in Wrigleyville. I'm a Wrigleyville person. Anybody local? Wrigleyville? Yeah! I love it. I love living in Wrigleyville. I shouldn't. I know, it's horrible. But I figured it out. I think the reason why I feel so comfortable living in Wrigleyville is because I cry a lot. Just in general. And really, like a white girl crying in public in Wrigleyville, that's basically a landmark for tourists. So really, I'm doing a community service every day that I leave my apartment. But I live in Wrigleyville, and it gets weird. It gets really, really weird. Earlier this summer, on one of those super hot days, I was out running errands, and I was walking down the street, and up ahead of me, what I saw was an old man with a cane and an old woman with a dog, and as I approached them, the old man with the cane fell, which is bad, right? Bad. So I run up to help, and as I'm approaching them, I see the old woman standing over the old man going, "I told you shouldn't be out in this heat." And I was like, cool, she's in charge. And I run up and I ask if they want me to call an ambulance, and he's saying, no, you don't need to call an ambulance. And by now, a couple of guys had come over to help him sit up. And the old woman, she's still she's still standing over him, trying to communicate with him, and she's getting agitated, and her dog is getting agitated. And at one point, she had to drop the leash, and I was like, oh my gosh, let me help you. And I run and I grab the leash, and I'm trying to calm down the dog. And at this point in our story, 2 drunk Wrigleyville girls showed up. Yeah, I'm talking like drunk Wrigleyville girls, like sundresses with t-shirts over them, drunk Wrigleyville girls. And they run up to the old man, and they fucking crushed it. I'm not even joking. They just run up and they were like, "Sir, your color doesn't look good. We're gonna call an ambulance. Are you on any medications? Do you have a preferred hospital? My name is Stacy. This is Cindy. We're nurses." Holy shit, guys! Drunk girls are the best. I'm not even joking. Flip a coin. They're probably a nurse. Because of course nurses are out drinking all the time. They've seen some shit, right? So if you see a drunk girl tonight, just promise me you'll buy her a drink, right? She's doing a service. And they just absolutely had the situation handled. It was amazing to watch. And by then, the old woman, she kind of backed off once they had it under control. And she came up to me and she was like, well, it looks like they've got everything under control. So I'm gonna go home. Which seemed a little harsh, right? I was like, oh, well, aren't you two together? Don't you want to see what happens? And she goes, oh no, I was just near him when he fell. So apparently what had actually happened was he was out by himself, she was out by herself. She saw him tottering, approached him, said, you really shouldn't be out in this heat. And then he fell, and she said, I told you shouldn't be out in this heat. And at that point I realized that my role, specifically in this whole emergency situation, was to abandon an old woman to help an old man while I pet her dog. So if anyone needs an emergency dog sitter, I'm highly qualified, I would say. I love my apartment in Wrigleyville. I love everything about it. Location, great. Rent is great. The one problem with it, ever know this would be a thing, there's not a single normal light bulb in the entire apartment. Right? I didn't know that was an option. I thought if you lived in a place, there were 2 types of light bulbs, normal and then energy efficient, right? I can handle that. Light bulb, light. I can take that. That's doable. But a light went out and I went to change it and I realized it looked like art. I didn't know. I tried to turn it and it clicked and I was like, I broke it. So I didn't know what to do, so I called maintenance, right? Because it's an apartment building. And I was like, okay, so I call maintenance and I say, hey, a light went out. And the first thing they said back was, you don't know how to change a light bulb? Which so naturally my next sentence out was, fuck yeah, I know how to change a light bulb, and I hung up and I don't know how to change a light bulb. And then I realized I was gonna have to go to the hardware store because they don't sell that shit at Jewel. Like, here's the thing, me going into a hardware store is the same as me going into an auto repair place or IT. I'm just gonna be condescended to. That's, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be called sweetheart and then I'm gonna feel bad about it. And like, here's, my thing about that is just, right, I can admit in front of all of you here tonight that I don't know anything about anything in a hardware store. I'll admit that to you. And if you ever see me in a hardware store, I'm comfortable with you knowing that I know nothing about anything in that hardware store. And I can know that I'm an idiot, and you can know that I'm an idiot, but I shouldn't know that you know that I'm an idiot. That's called customer service, right? But no, they make you feel stupid for not knowing things. And I was really dreading the trip, so I told myself, okay, you just go in with a plan, right? So come up with a plan, go in there, it'll be fine. And the plan I came up with was, I'll look like I belong there. So I put on my best flannel shirt. Which was also pink, but like I said, my best flannel shirt. It's got a little bit of glitter running through it. It's a really cute shirt. I put that on, and I put on my best mean face, like very serious mean face. I know, it's hard to believe I have one, but I'm smiling because I like all of you. But I put on my best mean face, put on my flannel shirt, walked in there, and nobody spoke to me. It was the best feeling in the entire, that's never happened to me in a store, ever. Like, no one speaking to me, literally never happened. It was the most magical shopping experience of my life. I walked in there strong, I walked in there confident, and then I walked out of there with the wrong light bulbs. So now there are just corners of my apartment that are dark all of the time. I gave up. I called them my spooky corners, and I move on. It is very spooky. Anybody having a hard time with the bullshit outside, the lack of sun? Right? It's winter, we don't have sun, it's terrible, it's stupid. I hate it so much. I do get seasonal affective disorder on top of depression. Anybody else have depression here? Yeah, give it up. You're sad! If Adele is allowed to be loud about being sad, so too can you guys. Come on, be sad! Right? I have depression. No, it's awful. It really is. And like, whenever it gets at its absolute worst, I like to remind myself that at least I'm lucky enough to have depression now, right? Like, these days. Because there's one thing about our generation and our society that we have embraced and accepted, and that one thing is literally the only reason I can survive day to day with depression. And that one thing is leggings. Yes. Thank God for leggings. I'm not even joking. On the days where it's like, where you're like, you know, the days where you wake up and the world seems gray and everything after it seems gray and it seems like it's just going to be gray forever. On those days, I like to just take a moment in bed. You can try this if you'd like. Just take a moment in bed, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say out loud to yourself, at least I don't have to wear pants today. You can wear stretchy, fleece-lined fake pants, pair it with a long shirt, people will call it a look. Am I right, guys? That look great. But seriously, I think of those times like those eras where people, like, they had to like starch and like button and buckles and like you had to dress like that with intention like every single day, no matter what you were doing. Those times like the 40s and the 50s. Honestly, if I was born in those eras, I would just become a nun. That's all it would take. That's all it would take at all, right? Because nuns get to wear Snuggies that hide your stomach. And that's all I want. That's all I want. Plus, I think depression would go really, really well in a convent. Hear me out. Because I was already planning on spending 45 minutes sitting on the floor thinking really, really hard about everything I've ever done wrong. And it turns out they call that prayer instead of a reason to be on Prozac. Thank you